Hello, hello. Welcome to today's podcast. I was making my breakfast shake, and I took pause because I have this burning message for you today. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done a podcast, a few days actually, and I had to take some time to myself because I realized that just going without taking a step back, without taking pause, and there's been some things that have been happening in the process where, you don't just, I can't just push myself to show up just to show up, just because I'm building something phenomenal. And so when I know, okay, bleh, got all these words. I should do a blooper podcast. Blooper time with Tiff. There's a lot of messaging out there that teaches us to just keep going regardless of what happens in our life. Whether there's a death in the family, or you have an illness, or you've got other things going on, whether it's marriage, whether it's kids, whether it's job stuff, business stuff, whatever happens, whatever even goes on with your life, we are trained. There's like this messaging that says, oh, just keep going, just show up regardless. And it's like, but I don't want to show up. And so we force ourselves to show up. But where do we see this happen the most? In business and in jobs. Yes. And that recipe is actually a recipe for burnout and dragging ourselves through the mud. And it's also a health destroyer, a mindset robber. It's an energy robber, and there's no peace involved. And I'm pretty sure as you heard that, you're probably, if you're like me, you're like, oh my gosh, that didn't feel very good. Or maybe you're numb to the messaging because we've been trained in this culture that hustle culture is the way to go. There's songs, hustle and flow. I just hustle my way through it. Yeah, how burned out are you? Yeah, how's that working out for you? I was having a conversation with my friend and I realized that I'm going to do a podcast because there is also subliminal messaging in places that we go, whether that's with like top mentors, gurus, conferences, the church. The other place it's rampant is in the corporate culture. Yep. And other places, I think I said church. These are places that we think that we're just supposed to give, and do, and go above and beyond, right? Because why wouldn't we want great exceeds expectations on our annual review with our jobs, right? As if they couldn't be more giving with their, let's go beyond exceeds expectations because it just places a ceiling on top of us and never raises the bar for people to get better. So then I believe that in the corporate culture, you have people that are like, well, if I'm not going to get a good review, why even bother? And then you also have other circumstances. In jobs, for example, corporate culture, we are taught to go above and beyond. We're taught to over deliver and under promise. We're taught to give all that we have, ignore the red flags, ignore the signs, go ahead, stick with being gaslit, go ahead, you know, all these things, deal with the drama of people, corporate culture that says just keep showing up regardless of what's going on in your life. Why? Because you're doing us a favor. Because you won't look like a responsible worker if you don't show up. Even when you're sick, come on in. Yeah. Or they punish you. You're punished for taking time off for when like there's a death in the family. Or you're subliminal punished for not coming into work just because you're really sick. But there's people that will push themselves when they're sick and show up because they're afraid of getting in trouble. I've seen it with my own eyes. And in fact, I've been one of those people. But health is the number one indicator that we are burned out AF. Health matters. And that should be at the top of the list, not the hustle, not the burnout, not the flow. And this subliminal messaging that a lot of people have caught, it's a destroyer and a disruptor. I'm here to disrupt. I'm a disruptor. I'm a visionary. I am a person who speaks truth. I bring impact. I also have joy doing it. And this is one of the things I absolutely love is bringing my voice to you, to a community of amazing people who are done with carrying the crap and want to clear the clutter, done carrying burnout, done accepting that as the norm. Yeah. I also see this rampant in building a business. I myself have been healing from this, which is why it's my number one message into the world. Like, hey, give yourself permission to break away already. Give yourself permission to not push yourself today. I don't care what it is. Give yourself permission to have a break. You know, the Kit Kat song, give me a break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar, right? So it's kind of like you're not giving yourself a break. You will break. Break under the pressure. Then you'll spend days in bed, not able to get out of bed. Why? Because you never gave yourself permission to just be. It's as if we wait for permission from other people. But guess what? You are not going to get permission from other people because they themselves, who aren't giving themselves permission, aren't going to give you permission. I also see this rampant in jobs where they have these policies, attendance policies set in place. And you know why they were actually created? Because there are people who don't know how to responsibly adult and they take advantage of calling in sick. Then they post their fun on social media and they forget that their supervisors are their friends on social media. This is why do not accept friend requests from your coworkers. Okay. I made the mistake of doing that. And yeah, I won't accept any more friend requests from coworkers ever again. I don't care how lovely they are. Mm-mm. Some of them are surveillance and some of them gossip and all they do is talk. And it's like, find a hobby. Because if you're gossiping about me, then it means you need to find a hobby. Thank you. Have a nice day. So, yeah. And then we burn out trying to maintain the status quo on our social media to our coworkers, and then we get burned out, and it's the hustle and flow, and it's the hustle culture. It's the when we go to build something, there is something attached that I'm still finding out. I'm like, wait, why do I feel like this experience has robbed me of finding enjoyment to build a business? I have I have seen people who are doing a business and they look so busy. And I'm like, well, if that's what I have to do to have a business, to be so freaking busy, I'm already healing from two viral infections. So that's not contagious. Like why would I burn myself out trying to build a business? Like I'm already out. Like I'm done. And so because it's the hustle culture that has been so embedded into me because that's how I grew up. Growing up in foster care, and then you have the church messaging that's loud and it's subliminal. There's other coaches, I was going to say coaching practices. There's other coaches and mentors and big time people out there that if I were to drop the name, you would be like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of subliminal messaging there about hustling and working your freaking face off. But what if I told you that there's a flip side? And this isn't necessarily the how to get out of it, because the how is in my paid space. When you hire me as the professional hype girl, that's where the how is. But I am going to tell you there is a way to like heal from continuing in the hustle culture, hustle and flow. No, no, no. It's time to ditch that. There is a way to get out of that. It's through healing. It's through giving yourself permission. Maybe this sounds foreign. It's through letting go of the traps. It's finding the traps. It's seeing them. It's taking note of what happens to your body, your nervous system. Yes, take note. Your nervous system will point out red flags in a heartbeat. It sure will. So one of the putting something away. Okay. Oh, That looks good. Okay. Oh, I got a little distracted. One of the top things that I see, and I'm just going to share a little bit about what I do. So I create ease and flow for business owners so that they can stay profitable in doing what they do best, which is building their business. It is also where I believe almost, if not every business owner has a community of some sort. So I will gladly and happily get in their community. Why? Because I have impact, I have joy, I have energy doing it. It doesn't rob me of my energy. I love voice-led spaces the most. Because I can use my voice, because that's where the most impact and joy comes from. And I realize that community is where I shine the most. Why? Because I'm in front of many people, which is why I stopped doing one-to-one coaching, because I can say the thing one time and it'll land to 50 people instead of repeating myself and losing energy 50 different times. So this messaging that I'm sharing to you, I know is going to go to more than 50 people, and it's going to all land in different places, but you all get to hear it. It's the same message, but for you, it's going to land a little bit differently. And that's okay. But where I see a lot of like business owners burning out is trying to maintain face, in keeping up all of their like communities and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, number one, what's your purpose of getting a community going? Why did you create a community? What was your purpose behind it? What is the outcome that you are building this community for? Why? And then secondly, what I also notice is when business owners aren't showing up in their community that they are building. And it's like, but why aren't you showing up in there? I know I'm gonna say something that probably might ruffle some feathers, but put your hand on your heart. This is why people hire me. So if you want to build a community and you want it to thrive, you want to stay profitable, where are you burning out that you can't show up in your community on a daily basis? Now, if I can show up in a community that I'm a part of every single day, who also has a job full time, who is a mom, who is a grandma, and a wife. I'm also healing, and I'm not sharing this to say, well, good for you, Tiff. No, no, no. If I can show up every single day, then my question to business owners is, where do you need the fire to come back so that you show up and energetically bring your community out of the dead land so it doesn't go there? So there's no crickets. And if you can't do it yourself, then who do you have that you have hired to be that community person? So this is where I come in, because I'm like, pick me, right? I don't revive dead communities. So if like a business owner doesn't go in there and if they're not energetic and I don't know their mission or vision, I'm not in there, because it's like, I don't want to be the only one showing up. Now, however, here's the flip side. Here's what I have also noticed is that business owners appreciate people who do show up even when their community seems like there's crickets and it's dying and they're burning out trying to keep it alive, because it it then robs their focus, because then they can't build with fluidity and harmony. They just can't build that way because they're focused on this dead thing over here, and it's like, no, 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 you got to free yourself up so that way you can build your business, because if you don't build your business, you won't stay profitable and your community will like die. Now, I want you to flip the tables and I want you to turn that around in your own life. What are you focusing on that's robbing you of your energy so that you can't go do what is like the best successful thing that you can do? And success is going to look different for you. And yes, this goes in flow, because if you think about it, what are you doing to build the life that you want without burnout, without hustle? But you're finding these things over here are taking up your time, taking up your energy, robbing you of thriving, robbing you of seeing things grow. What do you need to switch your focus to What do you need to let go of today so that you stop burning yourself out, so that you stop hustling? I think this is the most profound message. This is why you take time off, so that you can come back and powerfully show up. Now, I don't show up to fluff people's feathers or to brown nose or to say, just keep burning yourself out. That's okay. No, I would be doing you a disservice. Why? Because the last thing we need is more people burning out and then quitting on themselves, quitting on their vision. And there's so much competition out there, isn't there? There's so much, well, I got to be popular on the socials, so I'm just going to show up and burn myself out trying to get the, what is it, algorithm to see me. Oh gosh. Then we get in comparison and then we think, well, I must not be doing enough because this person, they've got like millions of followers. Yeah, but whatever they're doing works for them. You just show up. I don't care if by the way, do this test. Get in front of 5 people and see the momentum around 5 people. We see this at work. Picture now yourself in front of 10 people. That's a lot of people. Picture yourself in front of 20. Now, I've been on stages and I have spoken. I've been given microphones to speak. So picture yourself in front of hundreds of people, okay, or 50 people. That's a lot of people. So who cares if you are the top person on TikTok? Who cares? The right people will see you and your message is going to land for the right people. No need to hustle your way through that, but we burn ourselves out trying to hustle because then we are told we're not successful unless we have the big numbers. Who the frick cares? so yeah, that's the mindset to develop right there. Thank you so much for listening today. I think this is gonna be where I conclude my podcast today. And I just know, I want you to know that you're already doing a fantastic job. There's nothing more that you need to do to prove how amazing you are. You don't need to step into performance. You're already chosen. You're already loved. You're already amazing. You got to stop burning yourself out to be popular and it's like, that's not the way to go. Hustle culture is dead and it drives people into the ground. Hustle culture drives people into burnout. Hustle culture is why health is on the back burner because people are not putting themselves at the top of the list. They're putting themselves on the bottom. This could probably be a masterclass. This could be a recording I could take down, package, and sell for like $200. It is. It's powerful. I know it is. And I have given myself permission to stop burning myself out, trying to build a successful life and business. But also, I stopped. I also figured out that I have unknowingly been swayed by how to build my life and business by other people telling me what I should be doing. That is kryptonite to me. It is my kryptonite. It is a foul play. And I'm not a big sports buff, but all I know is I don't make touchdowns when I go follow other people's blueprints telling me how to build my life, telling me how to build my business, because every time that has happened, I end up burning myself out. Why? Because it doesn't happen the way that they're telling me to do it. So then I'm like, well, this isn't working. Well, why isn't it working? It's because I'm out of sync. I'm out of alignment. When we are out of alignment, it shows up every area of our life. And really, I told my friend today, and I'll end with this. I said, all I really care about doing is having a voice-led space where I can bring my impact because I have the most joy. I have the most impact with my podcast. I have the most impact where people have paid me to be in my voice-led space that I got to lead. These people got their life back. They stopped burning themselves out. They turned the hustle into a bad word and they started putting themselves first. And to this day, they're successful in building their lives, their business, their family vision, their family legacy, building a family unit. They're setting boundaries for themselves to maintain their confidence and protect their energy. They look more vibrant. They're still to this day doing greater things. Why? Because they came to me and said, I need help. I need to get out of burnout. I'm on my way. They were on a fast track to literally quitting on themselves. And I'm not saying being taken out of this earth, but people can get to that point if they allow the hustle culture, because then they beat themselves up just for taking time off. And then they force themselves back into their routine because it's like, well, I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. No, you're supposed to take time off. Just be. That's the whole point. That is the whole point. And so that is my messaging for today. Well, actually, that's my messaging forever until the good Lord takes me home. And I pray every day, pretty much. I know God hears silent prayers, that I get to live a long life into my hundreds, because I'm not ready to go yet. So I've got too many lives to impact. I've got too many lives to, like, there's so many more that have not heard this message. So today I ask you to please share this. Get out of your comfort zone. Share this with somebody. Play it in front of your friends. Play it in your business meeting. Did you want to know, instead of bringing another training that people probably don't need to hear, bring something like this and watch your team excel. Yes, watch your team explode and excel. Why? Because now you have people that are happier in building instead of burned out, forcing themselves to do things that are probably more than likely robbing them of experiencing the joy in building something. And it's time to put hustle out of our vocabulary. And it's going to sound like different words. Work your freaking face off. Put your head down for 90 days. And in 90 days, when you look up, you're going to be richer. You're going to be greater. It's going to be more amazing. Yeah, stop telling people that. Please and thank you. Yeah. I was told that messaging with my first ever network marketing company, and they ended up getting sued because of their culture, of their messaging, and people, I don't know what happened, but ended up getting a check from there but it's where I experienced one of the most horrible experiences of building a business. And I've had to unlearn what I learned. I mean, I've been on the healing journey. And so this is my messaging to the world. This is my messaging to you. Plus, growing up in foster care, as I mentioned, it also taught me that hustle was the way to go. Hustle brought love. Hustle, performance brings amazing things. And no, it doesn't. No, I abandoned myself. I lost myself. But now I am finding myself again. And I love myself too much. I've drawn the line. And now my energy is reclaimed. My confidence is reclaimed, as you can hear. I'm no longer abandoning myself just to show up, just to prove that I can do something. I've stopped doing that. Thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to please share this. By the way, if you are I'm on every podcast platform. I want you to go to the follow button, click follow. I believe there's also, you can leave comments. You can also, which I will go back and see and respond. Share this with a loved one. Share this with friends. Have a listening party. It's time to find ourselves again underneath the busyness and the chaos. And guess what happens when you do that? You can build the life you want, the business that you want. You can stay profitable. You can stay successful. You can stay in that flow of joy. But the moment you start finding that things are quiet or crickets or burnout or something along those lines, it means that somewhere you've lost yourself. And so that's where I come in. That's why people hire me, to be that professional hype girl, to be a voice-led activator so that you don't venture into burnout. So you keep yourself at the top. Thank you so much for listening today. That